Okay, at 7:34.
Call this meeting to order. Call these shenanigans to order. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So I don't see June or Margaret.
You don't
Like
suppose
we're flying solo.
you don't suppose they forgot us, did they?
Well, Margaret sent out an email that says RFT for tonight. So she certainly knew it was tonight.
Okay.
It just says I will sign it prior to your meeting. So I'm not 100% sure. Oh, I gotta close my bedroom door. It's gonna keep slamming. Hold on. Please hold.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not 100% sure what that means. I mean, I assume we can still act on it, whether she's signed it or not, right? We still act on it, right?
Yeah,
We can vote it, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, what does that little box mean? Town of Berlin Zoom channel. Is that a guest? Is that Margaret or June? Or is that just a logo that I've never seen before?
That's probably Margaret. Is that me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Carolyn. Can you guys hear me?
oh,
hi, Carol.
okay, I
I
thought
don't
you were
know.
Margaret.
Yeah, no, I don't know how. I was trying to, it's been a little bit of a Zoom hassle. I thought
Okay.
I signed in as me. I apologize.
It's okay. Are you looking for us or are you looking for?
Yeah, no, I'm looking for you guys,
Okay.
but I
Okay,
meant
so
to
you-
join as an attendee, not as.
Oh, that's probably what happened. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We have a couple of housekeeping things, but we can do those afterwards, Carolyn, if you want to. I don't need to hold you up. And we have a quorum, so.
Did you send out the vote, Carolyn? Wait a minute, let me get her. Wait, did I screw that up? Did that work? No. Carolyn, did you send out the email with the vote in it?
Okay, so first let me change this and start my video. Change my name. I wanted to talk to you guys. Let me just change my name here. To kind of give you an update, the Conservation Commission tried to meet at 7 o'clock tonight, but there was a glitch with the Zoom link. So I was unable to. Oh, I wonder, Margaret said she was coming tonight. I wonder if I'm messing that up by being on this channel. One more week, right, guys? Not even a whole week. Can you text Margaret? Anyway, I wanted to update you guys about where we stood and to see if you guys were prepared to vote on a recommendation one way or another tonight. Just so that I kind of knew where we stood with you. Oh, there's Margaret.
There's Margaret. Margaret's here.
Margaret's here.
Hi, everybody.
Awesome.
Hello.
So Carolyn, I don't think we're prepared to vote until we know what the story is on from June on CPA funds. That was the whole point. So about how we can spend under that. That was the open question from last time. So,
Oh,
right.
Margaret, has that been answered?
June and Tim went through things. June isn't here yet, huh? Okay. Let's see. June should be here momentarily. I'm
Well,
lost on my.
I thought we were more waiting on conservation to Carolyn, you were going to go back to them
And vote on the free cash reimbursement out of future open source funds.
I think that's what I.
Did you have that vote and did you send us the minutes? Because I haven't received them.
Oh, we did have the meeting. Our minutes, I can send you draft minutes. Our minutes for that meeting, that meeting was very long and they are done but not approved. But I can certainly send you the draft. But we did vote.
Okay, that's kind
yep.
of what we needed to know.
Yep.
that You're on board with that change.
Absolutely. And I have some other news that may make you guys feel a little bit better about the whole thing as well. Do we want to wait a few more minutes and see if anyone else is coming?
So, yeah, June's here. Yeah,
Well, June's here
And-
now too, so.
To
Yes,
Mary's question, I do believe you were looking for clarification under Article 21, the CPAC's budget article. So
Right.
that one also didn't have the recommendation.
Right, but I think that was, yeah, that was separate from Carolyn, I think. Hi, June.
But- well, I think we didn't, I think there was another one we didn't vote on the historical stand because
Yes,
it's
you
the same
did.
issue is we couldn't figure out what we're allowed to do with, when you can spend the money incoming, right? Say,
Okay.
Julie, I sent the draft minutes back to you and I couldn't make it highlighting. So I just deleted the yada yada. Brought it down to the votes and the topics. So if it's okay with you, then we might be able to vote on that as a draft tonight or as the minutes
Okay.
tonight.
Did you include Stan on that?
No, but I will.
Okay. That looks good to me.
Okay, coming your way, Stan.
Thank you. Yeah, Carolyn, I don't think we have to wait for anybody else. I know Janet's not joining us and I'm not sure where Scott is, but we have a quorum.
Okay, let me just to Julie, make a note here.
Okay.
And if anybody needs verification, the April 6th meeting is up on YouTube. So, okay,
So just to be clear, we are talking about Article 24 right now. That's the discussion.
23, I think.
yeah, I was, okay,
Article 23.
correct.
Okay.
Right. So I believe the last time I talked to you guys, that was still all three separate articles. Is that true?
Yeah, I think the last time you talked with finance, I think that's the case, Carolyn.
Right,
The finance has seen it as a combined motion.
Yes.
okay. So a couple of things. I was wrong about a thing. So I was under the impression that we had to appropriate the full purchase price for the land grant. We actually only need to, the land grant can only be applied for the appraisal value. And we're actually paying $100,000 over the appraised value. So our target number that we need appropriated at town meeting is not 1.25, it's 1.15. So we actually need appropriated less money than I thought we did. So I was hoping again that the Conservation Commission could vote tonight to approve that change, which I can't imagine anybody will have a problem with, but we have not actually voted.
I take full responsibility for that. I misbooked your Zoom. I'm sorry.
So we are meeting Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to take that vote. But I'm going to be getting in touch with Barry as to how I go about modifying the $100,000 from free cash to $50,000 from free cash. And again, it would be a loan and repaid and paid back from future Solomon Pond funds.
And
The
we
other
are still
thing,
working, I was just gonna say, Carolyn, that we are still also working that this is your worst case scenario because you
Yeah.
do have other funding potential in the pipeline.
Correct,
That would,
correct.
okay.
Yep,
Because that's,
right.
that's one of the things you want to be clear about at town meeting. So people have a sense of,
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's really that on paper for this meeting, we need to have 1.12 appropriated. And Mary, you had kind of picked up on the fact that there was maybe something inaccurate when you were talking about the $50,000 from Sudbury Valley trustees. And that actually got me thinking about it. And so I called Krista all in a panic and I'm like, oh my God, tell me I didn't mess this up. And she then pointed out to me that we only needed the 1.1215 appropriated.
So she understood this rule that you can't go over appraised value for. What's the, who is it that wants it not over appraised value?
The land grant.
Land grant.
Yep. Yep. The MVP grant. So there are 2 grants that we're going to be applying for. The MVP grant, and that we can actually add additional cost in, not only the purchase price, but like appraisals and some lawyer fees and stuff. So we're actually asking for 1.3 million, or that's our baseline. You know, it's all then a percentage that we would get back, but we can use a higher number than the purchase price for the MVP grant.
So let's unpack this. So when you're applying for the land grant, you're asking for 1.3. When you're
No.
going,
No, the other way around, the MVP.
MVP.
I'm sorry, MVP.
Of which we would then just get a percentage back.
Which we said is up to 6, what is that? What's the?
I believe that's up to 75%.
75, okay.
So that's really, that's the one we want. You know, that's the good one.
Sorry, which one is the good one?
The
The
MVP.
MVP. Can we hear on that first, Carolyn, or second?
I believe we hear it on that first. I know we apply for that first. We apply for that next Friday.
Okay. And we expect to hear, was that August? Was that July, August? or what?
Yeah, like I think that one's late summer, early fall. Oh, good. There's Krista.
And we're now talking about Article 23.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, on that warrant. So,
Hi, Carolyn. Oh, sorry, Mary, this is Krista. I just wanted to
Hi, Krista.
clarify one thing, which maybe I just misheard you, Carolyn, but that for the MVP grant, we wouldn't be asking for 1.3. That would be the total purchase price, of which we'd be asking for 75%.
Right. Yeah, I hope I said that right.
so Krista, let me get that straight. So the 1.3 million you're thinking is going to cover closing costs, and so in the is it MVP?
Yep.
Yeah, grant, you'd be looking for that 75% of the total purchase cost. Is that the way you're thinking?
Right.
Okay. And so for the town of Berlin, we're looking at Article 23 is still at 1.25. So we're asking the town to approve that 100,000 over the appraised value, but we don't have a rule in the town, so maybe we don't care. Is that where we're at, or no?
Yeah, I think it's better to appropriate it's safest to appropriate the full amount, and then because with all of the grants, the town has to show a canceled check for the project cost, and then the state reimburses whatever the percentage is, depending on which grant it is, and then we can fill in the gap with what we've raised privately.
So, okay, so how do you get with respect to the canceled check and so on, how do you get from the 1.25 million to the 1.3 million when you're talking to the state and other people?
It would, you can also include invoices for things like surveys.
Okay.
Yeah. We can't count any of the, like, we can't count any money that's been spent already to date. You can only get reimbursed for money spent after the contract is signed with the state.
Right. So I think I have come to realize part of what makes all of this confusing is that there are two grants at play, both of which have different numbers, and the purchase price, which is also a different number. So there's no one answer to almost any question, which is what makes it seem like it's that it's just it's so confusing because there are so many different target numbers that we're trying to hit. And that's why I had done it in separate articles to try and at least smooth some of that out, but that's not where we landed.
So Carolyn, you may appreciate that this is a useful dress rehearsal for town meeting. So if we can't get it straight on FinCom, the town's never going to get it straight. So it's important to walk through what we're walking through. This is what I said last time about understanding what the deal actually is, what the commitments are, who's doing what.
Correct.
And I think conservation in particular needs to be really clear at town meeting, and people will be asking at FinCom questions, and I don't want to be ignorant about these things. I'd like to have it pretty clear. So we might want to have a little piece of paper where all the dots are connected.
Yep. So where Krista and I have been working on a handout
Well,
that will hopefully do that.
just the financial package, not the whole thing, right? I don't know if you're doing a handout for the whole project, or are you doing it for just how this financing is going to
Just
run?
how the financing.
Okay.
All right,
Carolyn,
so
it
what,
might be, oh, I'm sorry.
that's all right, go ahead.
Carolyn, it might be helpful to write yourself out a summary. So after you present the motion, you can give an initial, organized presentation using using a written statement that you have available, something other than the handout. I'm just wondering if that might help.
Right. Well, so I started typing something up, and I organized it by addressing each of the sections of the article. And it's a page and a half long. So
How much time are you given?
right. Well, and I don't know if all of you know this, but I hate speaking at town meetings. So my voice starts to quaver after a little bit and everything, and not big on speaking at a microphone.
So make AJ do it. He's good. Nobody, he's a new face in town. he's fine.
That's true.
Give it
Maybe
to
I will
AJ.
ask him if he would be
There you
willing
go.
to do that.
We know AJ from 19 Carter. We know him well. So
Yes. Yeah. Geez, if a different face needs to be the one that presents it, I am totally fine with that. There is no ego here. I just need to.
You're the boss lady. Tell him what to do, right?
Okay, but I was gonna say, I think that's your call, Carolyn. We're not saying that you shouldn't be the one doing it. You're saying maybe
yeah.
not.
I'm being a little lighthearted here, Stan. AJ
Oh,
will be
no,
mad at me when I tell him what I've done.
He may actually be in the audience, so he may have heard it.
Oh, you think so? Okay. Okay. Hi, AJ.
So I need to figure out with, well, first with the Conservation Commission and then also with Barry, how to, how the process goes for reducing the amount of money that we are asking for from free cash. But the reality is that we will be reducing the amount of money that we are asking for from free cash by $50,000.
So Carolyn, I don't understand that. If the article is still 1.25 million, or has that changed?
The easy answer is yes, because we need to appropriate. So there's two different, so the 1.25 is the purchase price, but that is not the amount of money that we need to appropriate at town meeting.
So, okay, understood. So where does the 50,000 go if it's not in the 100,000 of free cash? Where's it going to? I'm looking at the list of, I'm
Right.
looking at the article as printed, looking at the amounts, the funding source. So where does that 50,000 get bounced?
So if you look at that list,
Yep.
out of that, if you cross off the $50,000 from Sudbury Valley trustees,
Yeah.
right? So then all of those other numbers add up to 1.1.
Yeah.
And so all we need to hit our target of 1.15 is $50,000.
Wait a minute. I think those numbers add up to 1.25 and then 1.2.
Yes, they do.
Where did I, so what? Oh, well, because 100,000 of it is free cash. So if you do it, all right, so let me do this differently. If you take the 490 that we got from CPA, the 260 that will come from open space, and the 350 that we hope to get from CPA at this town meeting, those three are 1.1.
So if you take out free cash or $50,000 worth of free cash and 50,000 from Sudbury Valley,
Correct.
that would drop it down to 1.15.
Correct. Which is the number that I have come to realize is the number that we need to hit.
Okay. All right. So that was my initial question. This article, as printed, adds up to 1.25. We wanted to add up to 1.15 in order to qualify with the land grant funding. Yeah.
Correct.
So we do need to edit the article as printed. Right now, it's total appropriation for acquisition 1.25.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if you have it in front of you, but what are the edits? So we're gonna change free cash to 50, and we're gonna take out the line that talks about Sudbury Valley fundraising. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we as a town can appropriate money from another entity.
This
Okay.
is not, this list does not call for an appropriation from Sudbury Valley trustees. This only outlines the funding sources
Okay.
that are going toward the total acquisition. It's not appropriating their money.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm on that article, and I'm seeing I'm visualizing Barry with the edits. So, again, this is a dress rehearsal. What are you doing with words on the page?
Yeah,
And
see,
then-
for me, this is very difficult. I can't post by this, but
So appropriate the total sum of, you want 1.15 million?
Correct.
So that's item C, 1,150,000.
So Margaret, that 1.25 appears in several places in the article. Right. Just pretend I'm Barry, okay? Is Barry in the audience?
no.
Okay. Who's got a good proofreading eye on this thing?
So there's a at $1,250,000 is listed under C
Under C.
and under where it says total appropriation for acquisition.
All right, there's a second one. Okay, and then as we go down under the summary,
I've lost it.
sorry.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my daughter to get me a pen.
All right, and then at the bottom of the page, under the summary, purchase price 1.25, does that stay? Or does that change to 1.15?
Sorry, I'm a little behind here, guys.
All right,
So you're looking at reducing the free cash to $50,000 and removing the 50,000 from Sudbury Valley trustees. So you're looking at 1.15. Is that? Oh, I see. Okay.
Margaret, does the motion actually talk about actually like appropriating or transferring money from free cash? Because looking at it the way it's printed right now, I can't post this and I can't use this on the recap sheet as it is.
All right, so the total sum of $100,000. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong article. No, you know what? We need to actually,
Because we're not appropriating any new money in this article.
so it would be under C, appropriate the total sum of 1.15 million to acquire, well, I'm reading it as it's
Yeah.
intended to be amended, to acquire said parcels and pay for costs incidental related thereto, which appropriation shall be funded as follows. And then it lists the amount from, the three amounts from CPA, the amount from free cash, and the amount from the Conservation Commission open space account. And then it further notes that 490,000 was already appropriated at the 11/8/21 special town meeting.
Okay, so that's in the motion, the actual
That's-
motion.
Right,
Yeah.
right. The first 5 line items say 5/2/22 annual town meeting.
Yep.
So those are,
Right, but I'm just saying for me personally, when I do the recap sheet at the end of the year or set up the books, I have to actually have the motion actually tell me what to do. Otherwise, I can't move any money. So I just wanted to make sure that, because as printed, it means nothing to me. It doesn't tell me that, because like I can't reappropriate money that's already been appropriated. So that's why I
Right.
just need to make sure that the motion is actually appropriating the 48,000 from CPA fund balance reserve for open space
Mhm.
in
Okay.
22, and that to appropriate 283 from budgeted reserve. You know what I mean? So I have
Yep.
to make sure that that is, otherwise it won't go.
so June, for you, the critical language is in the motion, not in the warrant.
Yes, very much so. And all it takes is one thing missing and you're not getting any money. I just legally can't. That's why I want to make sure the motion is correct.
All right.
Of course, so, and so we don't worry about the warrant at the town meeting. We just tell people that there's some change from the warrant and read it in the motion.
I think usually that's how it does. And as long as it's going down and not up, it's fine. If it was going the other way, it would not be allowed.
right. That much I knew.
Town council.
This-
Town council is, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. So this paragraph C in Article 23 probably, except for what's actually being appropriated at this meeting, the rest of it could have just been in the summary and not printed out there.
Yes.
That's helpful. Dan.
Town council is reviewing the motions right now, so I will see how we can simplify items C and D on the motion sheet, D in particular. Well, yes, well, C would be revised to be 1.15 million, but D, for June's purposes, we want to be sure that the Sudbury Valley trustees money and the money already appropriated at special town meeting in the fall is listed as other funding that's not being,
What's D?
Right, I
I
thank you.
have a C and I have an E.
There's no D.
you don't have a D in your motion sheet?
No,
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 Okay.
not on the motion sheet. No, I'm sorry. This is the warrant. I'm not looking.
Yeah,
at
I
the
know,
motion.
there was, we skipped, so
Okay.
I added D on the motion sheet just for the listing of funding sources.
Okay.
so then what is C on the motion sheet?
C is appropriate the total sum of 1.15 million to acquire said parcels, funded as follows, and then I just added a D right before the funding sources, so I could close that gap.
Got it. Okay, so anyway,
Well, and this is all well and good, but our concern was that conservation was willing to pay for the money from free cash out of future money, which they're now agreeing that, which they've agreed to, and now it's going to be less. And
Absolutely.
I understand, Mary, what you're saying is that this is a run through for town meeting, but how much time do we need to take up with the logistics of how this motion's going to work? Because that's not really our concern, is it?
No, I'm with you 100%, Stan, but we have to understand what we're voting on. That's the drill that we just went through. So I think Margaret and June can make the motion appropriate so that funding will actually happen in real life after the meeting. And you just stated the key point, which is we're now looking at 50,000 in free cash. It's unfortunate that we don't have the paperwork from conservation tonight, because that was the point of tonight's meeting, was to have that and to have June's conversation with Tim about whether CPA funding permitted this. And I assume that conversation has happened. June?
What was it that you were trying to get clarified?
That
Oh.
on CPA, whether, but both the historical commission article plus the conservation article, there was a question about how CPA works, and you and Tim were going to run it down. That's where we left it on March 31st.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much all set. The biggest question is that if there was funding that was going to come back from the grant, where it was going to go. And I think it's been clarified. I mean, both Tim and I believe that it would have to go back to CPA,
Okay,
where CPA funds are being used first. But I would definitely, if it was over and above somehow over CPA funding, then yes, then we could also decrease the amount that was going back to free cash. But again, it has to come out to the full dollar amount for CPA first.
right, okay. And we were talking about whether the funding, what year you could take the funding out of. But I guess that was why there were two articles involved that were unclear.
Yeah, we had to make sure that we specified which accounts, and it just needs to have the right wording, whether it be reserved or budgeted or undesignated. And yeah, so, and I think as of the last I talked with Tim, I believe we're all set on it.
Yeah, okay.
so I'm forwarding the draft minutes as we speak. I will send them to all of you.
Margaret, I have a quick question. You mentioned things still being with the town council.
Huh?
Do
Yes.
you know when that will be finalized?
Yeah, well, it's got to be finalized by Friday because that's when we're printing motion sheets.
Okay, so, no, I'm asking just because for FinCom, we scheduled a half-hour meeting before town meeting. I just want to make sure that'd be enough time if we had to review anything, or if you thought we should proactively make sure we schedule more time, or.
I guess I would defer to the committee. I would hope that the motion is cleaned up and ready to be presented. At this point, I don't even know whether or not there's going to have to be an amendment because of the changes in the article. It's
Well,
possible.
not just this, it's not just this article that you're talking about that's at the town council, right?
Right. Oh,
So-
town council has all, town council
That's
has
what I'm
all.
saying, is that for everything,
Oh, okay.
if we got, I mean, if they had significant changes, would half an hour be enough time for us to review it?
I'm gonna have
And
to
you
see
don't
what
know.
we get. I'm gonna have to see what we get back from town council before I can answer that.
Okay, so, because I don't, I mean, that would be, I guess I'd have to defer to Stan on if we have to schedule.
My hope is that there aren't going to be significant changes on most of the articles. There was one, you've already made a recommendation on Article 18, for example. We are going to be able to take out an entire section from that article out of the motion itself because it was redundant. The same thing was asked under Article 8 for cable access. So I don't think that that's going to sway the finance committee, in a different direction. But what I found in here was that the $50,000 that's being asked for in Article 18 is already being asked for under Article 8 with an ability to spend that through June 30th, 2023. So,
Okay.
so it's going to be things like that I don't think are going to be very significant.
Okay.
This article, though, the conservation article, there are going to be a few changes.
I'm sorry, I was late to the meeting. You guys talked about number 8 versus number 18.
Yeah.
Does that mean that we have the full amount that is needed in fiscal year 23? The reason why I'm asking is because originally we had appropriated the additional because they needed it in addition to the 50. So
the way Article 8 is worded, it allows the $40,000 that was already appropriated in FY22 to be, it gives until June 30th, 2023 to spend that and the 10,000 supplemental funding. I'm sorry, I'm on a different tangent here.
what's the total of the project?
50,000.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was a lot more than that, the way that they were talking. So, okay, never mind.
Who knows? The way costs are going, could be.
Okay. So I received the email from Carolyn. So.
Oh.
we have-
Oh, the draft minutes, Julie?
Yes, I did. Did you receive those?
I'll look.
Yeah, I have them too.
You went to Mary.
Yep,
Stan,
Yes,
Mark,
it's
and-
here.
Yep.
Did the finance committee make a recommendation on Article 6 at your last meeting? Oh, I know why you didn't, because we didn't know whether or not we were going to pass over the article. We're going to be passing over the article.
Okay. Okay.
It's pretty far down. We've had a very busy couple of weeks. So it's under new business, number 2. Let's see, A, B, and C. Kyle moved. AJ seconded. Vote was unanimous.
So in letter B, Carolyn, town council approved the use of the funds as reimbursement for the free cash funds, the use of mitigation. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So we are, we're on Article 23 at this point. So
Yeah, that was one of, it was that and the other CPA. I lost track because of the renumbering, Margaret, but we had a historical.
Right, that's 22. That's
Yeah,
right
okay.
before 23.
Julie, that's what I was just asking June about, her conversation with Tim.
Mhm. So that's the one that we have to wait until next Monday. That's where I got,
No, I think it's resolved.
okay.
But you're right, we didn't vote on it because that was these two, the conservation CPA and the historical CPA were open questions when we had our March 31 meeting. So
Yeah,
June,
and we wound up combining 2 of them into one, or 3 of them into one, so.
Yeah, that's where I was getting a little lost on the numbering, so.
So our motion for number 23, if we're to indeed make one, I guess this is where the minutia does come in handy because we need to know what we're voting on. So, or how we're making that motion.
exactly, Stan. Yep.
Well, I mean, I would say certainly as a concept and as our intent has been addressed. So I think it's really just a matter of getting the wording in. So does anyone have any suggestions on this?
I think Margaret's got the pen on that motion. Oh, you mean for us to make a motion as a committee? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to, I mean, we have to decide if we are recommending Article 23. I mean, we need a FinCom recommendation on this.
Could it just be motion to recommend Article 23 and leave it at that, since that's pretty much what we have now? I mean, we've
Well-
discussed the reasons for getting there, but it's all in one article, so there doesn't really seem to be.
So,
I think we're making it more complicated than it has to be if all we have to do is vote on the actual article.
well, yeah, the problem, Julie, is this is a place where the minutes are important. So
Okay.
Article 23, which is the conservation's article for this purchase, this acquisition of land.
Mhm.
In Article 23, as I understand, the motion is going to be written for town meeting. There are four, three CPA fund sources. There is the Conservation Commission open space source, and then there's the 50,000 in free cash. Okay, so what we're voting on is to approve those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 funding sources. Okay,
Sounds like a motion to me.
and Article 23 as printed, those are the 5 funding sources that are listed as 5 to 22 ATM. Just to make it easy for you, Julie.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? I didn't hear what you said.
Sure. I don't know if you have the warrant handy. I got a copy of the mail. I got it on email, but the printed warrant, but under Article 23, it has a little table and it lists all the funding sources.
Okay.
Yeah, and the first 5 items on the funding source are what we need to vote on tonight,
Okay.
with the exception that the free cash is going to be 50,000, not 100,000.
I'm sorry, I'm just not seeing it in my email, which doesn't mean I didn't get it, because I remember reading through it. Let's see.
what are you looking for, Julie?
I just want to make sure I was looking at the right one. Article 23. Okay, so you're talking about Article 23, Section C. Am I on the right one?
Yes, there you go.
Okay. So it's a motion to accept. Article 23, is that correct?
The motion is to vote whether to recommend
Right.
funding and the funding sources as listed for the May annual town meeting.
It's listed in Article 23, Section C. With the exception that the free cash amount has changed from 100,000 to
50,000.
50,000. Okay, so this is what I wrote. I hope I got it. Motion to recommend funding and funding sources as listed in Article 23, Section C, with the exception that the free cash amount has changed from 100,000 to 50,000. Does that sound right?
That sounds right. And let's add a little "and" at the end of it.
Uh-huh.
And the total sum appropriated to be 1.15 million.
Appropriated to be 1.15 million. Okay.
So Margaret, are we in sync with the motion now? Our vote?
I think that you are generally, and you'll want to review it on Monday night, but hopefully you've captured the bulk of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I know this is painstaking, but I think it's appropriate to get it down.
Okay, so Mary made this motion. I will second it.
Is there further discussion on it?
I hope not.
Yeah, you and me both, kid. All right, then hearing none, roll call vote, Stan, aye.
Mary, I.
Julie, I.
All righty.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
You're
I should
welcome,
add
Carolyn.
that
Thank you.
Capital
Thank you.
Planning Committee also unanimously recommended this. And have you already done 21 and 22? Have you already
All right.
voted your recommendations? Thank you, Caroline.
I'm gonna go.
Good night, Carolyn. Good night, Krista. Or
Bye.
Fred,
Thank you
guys are-
very
Thanks,
much.
You guys are
everyone.
welcome to
Night.
stay and enjoy the festivities.
This is like my 18th meeting this week, so I think I'm
Oh.
gonna jump.
You're a seasoned veteran.
Oh, it's been a couple of weeks, I'll tell you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
Good
you
night.
very much, guys.
Thanks,
See ya.
Carol.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Aye.
So June, you said that you and Tim have squared everything away on the community.
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay. Okay.
I can touch base with Tim in the morning just to make sure, but I think
So
our
the-
biggest thing is just to make sure that it was all written.
Okay.
And like I said, the motion is just really important.
So the motion in this one is as printed in the warrant. So the warrant article is going to be important here. So those are the numbers we want to be sure are correct.
Yeah, and the thing we were talking about, you see the allocations, some come from the resources fiscal year 2022 and some from resources fiscal year 2023. That was the question that no one had an answer for at the end of March. And that's the one June just said that as long as we designate funds accurately, we're okay to spend the 2023.
Yeah, I'll double check it all and make sure that it's good tomorrow. Yeah, I have to say, where we're gonna continue with CPA, I'd really like to find better ways of doing them because they're becoming really complicated. And unfortunately, we have to keep in mind that when CPA actually makes the recommendations, they're just recommending something and a funding source. It's an actual vote that is still needed to actually appropriate the funds. So we're trying to do two things, and I think we're combining them all into one, which is making it even more confusing. So there's no cut and dry on these. So
Mm.
Certainly does add a layer of complexity, doesn't it?
Yes,
yeah,
Margaret.
because some things we can do, but that's the whole reason why with CPA is normally done in the fall and not at annual, because right now we're appropriating money that we don't have yet, which just scares the hell out of me. But that's just the accountant coming out.
Yeah.
Jim, is this where the idea of having a regularly scheduled fall town meeting? This would be one of the things that could be handled.
It would be. The problem is that there's a lot more costs associated too with a fall town meeting.
Mhm.
So it's one of those things where it's great, but again, that's that accountant coming in, is it worth us doing, or do we just wait and stop spending CPA funds now before we have the money, or wait till it's in the bucket? I mean, right now, we're not gonna have to worry about it because we pretty much spent everything, so we don't have anything more to spend at this point, but oh, that's just me.
Okay. But there also isn't an urgency. There's an urgency for the people who want to use it, but there isn't an urgency. Like,
Yeah,
if you
and
don't-
I don't mean to say this to be rude, but there's always, if somebody wants something, it's urgent. You know, it's not life shattering, it's not really urgent, but it's important to people. So
Yeah.
I don't know. You have to weigh it out, I guess.
Okay.
But pretty much they're out of money, so they're our big, got to do it the last minute. I'm just hoping it's all going to work out because of the canceled check thing that still scares me, but hopefully it will all go smooth.
Mhm.
So that means there are only 3 articles that the Finance Committee has not yet recommended. That's Articles 21, 22, and Article 6 if you care to. But if it's going to be passed over, is the Finance Committee recommendation needed?
Margaret, did you just bounce from like 21 back to 6? Did you really
Yeah.
just do that?
Yeah,
You really did. Yeah.
I said 21, 22, and then 6.
Yeah. Well,
What the heck?
I would say that we don't need a motion, and if it's not passed, well, I guess we would.
Wait, Article 6 has a Finance Committee recommendation of 5-0.
Yeah, it does.
It does?
Yeah.
Then that's my omission on the motion sheet then. Okay. However, that was a different motion back then. That
Yeah.
was to do additional sums to fund the police collective bargaining agreement if needed. Now it's just going to be passed over. So I won't put 5-0 under the motion to pass over. I just wondered if you wanted to do a separate recommendation or not.
Oh, I
Well-
see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
What would our recommendation be? To be passing over it?
Yeah.
Uh,
That would be the recommendation if you cared to make one.
So do we want to pass over the vote to pass over?
I
We
want
don't
to
have to put, we don't have to put any recommendation under the article, under the motion. We can just leave that. leave
Yeah.
that be. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's leave that
I'm gonna
blank.
Because-
pass out and then pass over.
Yeah.
Normally Barry will look at you, Stan, and say, Stan, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, exactly. And I will say,
God, I hope not. Yeah.
yeah. Figured out by now, June, I'm a man of few words.
I know. You try to.
I do try. Like to be parsimonious.
So
There's your word of the day.
we still
I'm gonna
need to
have to look
vote,
it up.
we need to vote Article 21 and 22, and then maybe we're pretty close to done.
Right. Except for our minutes, unless we're gonna wait till the town meeting to vote on them.
Well, you can read what Mary forwarded to you.
It's a whole lot shorter than the draft. And
Okay,
it pretty much reflects the votes and who was there. And
well, I need a refresher on 21 and 22.
so 21 is the overall CPA funding that you have to vote it in, I guess, that we're gonna appropriate or transfer it into money that we can spend. And then Article 22 is the historical resources, the historical commission monies.
Okay, well, I mean, if June is comfortable with it, then I would ask for a motion.
Yeah, so moved. You want to vote Article 21 and 22 together, or you want to do them separately?
Together?
We can
Sorry,
do
Stan?
them together. We can do them together.
All right, so I move that we recommend the funding as set out in the printed warrant articles for Article 21 and 22 on appropriations for the Community Preservation Act funds.
Julie seconds.
Do we need any further clarification on this or any further discussion on this?
I don't think so, Stan.
Okay, then
The
hearing
only-
none, roll call. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, then roll call vote. Stan, aye.
Mary, I.
Julie, I.
Sounds like we have a warrant.
Yay.
Yeah, and there was much rejoicing.
There is much rejoicing. It's been a very long day.
Well, fortunately, we won't be forced to eat Robin's minstrels, so that'll be good. Monty Python, in case anyone wasn't familiar with that.
Oh,
reference.
okay.
To eat what, Stan? I just didn't hear you.
Robin's minstrels.
Oh.
It's from Holy Grail. It's from Holy Grail.
Holy grail.
But in the winter, they were forced to eat Robin's minstrels. Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right, so I think you just have 2 reserve fund transfers for tonight too.
That we do.
Yeah. Eloise needs $100.
I hope that this is the last one we're gonna ask for, but this
I'm
was the,
tempted. I'm
Well,
tempted to
what's the-
send in a check so that we don't have to make a motion.
What was the other one? I saw the one for the town clerk expenses.
the other
100
one was the veterans benefits.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. So do we just, normally we would vote and sign, right?
Yeah,
So we just need to vote, right, Stan?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Was that amount actually $100?
that's what I'm asking for. That's gonna give her
Okay.
a little bit extra.
Okay. All right, so I will make a motion that we approve the reserve fund transfer in the amount of $100 for expenses for town clerk.
Julie seconds.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
I hope not. Hearing none. Stan, roll call vote. Stan, aye.
Mary, I.
Julie, I.
Motion passes.
And then was that earlier one also Eloise's expense, or was it something else?
Nope, the other one was
Oh,
for
sorry, veteran, yeah.
veterans benefits. What happened is that last year when we budgeted, we had 2 people. Then at one point this year, we had 3 people. And the third person that came on was higher than the other 2, and then we lost 1. So it was still going to be over, but then we unfortunately also had a funeral assistance that was going to be needed. So that's what shot it up as high as it is to the 8,000.
Okay. And June, I don't have that paperwork in front of me. What was the amount?
8,000 even is what was needed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I move that we approve the $8,000 Veterans Benefit Reserve Fund transfer.
Julie seconds.
Any further discussion?
Not
Here.
by me.
Hearing none, roll call vote, Stan, aye.
Mary, I.
Julie, I.
And after those two votes, that will leave you with, I believe, $85,500 in the reserve fund for the rest of the year.
Not bad.
And
Crossing
just
fingers.
also to give a quick heads up, we are going to be looking at some line item transfers. I'm hoping to have them for you, if you have time on the meeting before town meeting, if possible. One of them has to do with the printing of the warrants where we split them. It came out a little bit higher than what was estimated. We're also going to be transferring.
Town administrator recruitment.
Yes,
Consulting.
because somebody decided to give her notice. We have to go out and recruit. And we didn't have
To say.
that planned. I know, I'm still gonna say it, Margaret. I don't-
Today was my last day of treatment. So
Yay!
I just can't even believe it. I'm
Yep.
so excited.
Oh, that's such good news, Margaret.
Oh my
Congratulations.
God.
And just
thank
think,
you.
she's
Wonderful.
celebrating it with us. She's a crazy.
I am.
This is
Cheers.
sad, so sad. And we will also be having one more line item transfer for Council on Aging. Because in your line items, you voted the driver and the director two separately, so we just need to move one to the other. And I think there was also one for police department also. But I don't have them in hand, so I can't give you exact.
So it'll be 2 or 3.
Town report, COA, police. And there's one more, Margaret, one more. TA, see, I just am blocking that we need money to get a new TA. I just,
Yeah. It's not happening.
in my mind, it's not happening, but. So
with
at least 4 as of tonight.
All right, I got it. Okay.
Which is there's one more thing. So May 1st begins the allowable timeline for end of year appropriation transfers, and all end of year appropriation transfers have to be made by July 15th. So as usual, the Finance Committee will have to set a couple of meetings for the very end of this fiscal year to, as needed, to approve line item transfers.
And I'm sorry, what's the last date that we can do it?
July 15th. That's the close of books.
And that is a Friday, so I would assume that if you want to stick to your Wednesday schedules, that would be July 13th would be your last meeting,
Okay.
if you chose to do it on a Wednesday.
Okay.
So if at all possible, I would love it if you could schedule at least that one so that we know we have at least that one as a heads up. And then if there's a possibility of doing one in June, maybe one in May, or if you want to just leave it on an as needed thing.
Okay. Well, I learned how to use the add a meeting. To schedule a meeting. I learned how to do that. So,
I don't know if you guys are still planning on keeping Zoom or if you're going to do in persons too, or whatever your thought process is. Just
Well, that
I-
July 13, I might be in Pennsylvania, so if we can set up the Zoom, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure yet, but I might be.
I'm fine with Zoom. Janet, the reason Janet's not here, I don't know if she has a concussion. She had a concussion from a fall in
Oh,
February.
no.
oh,
And, so she's struggling with that, and it's and Zoom meetings are actually harder for her, just because
Oh.
looking at a screen all day is harder for her, and she's been having nothing but Zoom
Yeah.
meetings with schools and stuff, and she's only supposed to be working 4 hours a day. But anyway, so
oh,
separate from that, I don't know that means we have to schedule a meeting in person. I mean, I think the important thing is we try to get as many people as we can too. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Dan, if the July meeting, you want to be in person, I can call in. Or do something, yeah, we can figure that out.
Yeah,
Do
they still
hybrid.
allow remote participation, so sure.
okay.
And I'm sorry, I was dealing with a text from work. What's sacred about that July 13th meeting? Just that it's as close to the end as feasible.
Yeah,
So-
July 15th, we have to have the books officially closed July 15th, and we can't do anything after that date for the current fiscal year that we're in right now. So we like to at least have one that last week for the last minute people that all of a sudden grabbed a bill, so we don't have to do a special article at town
Right,
meeting.
and
for an
so
unpaid bill.
scheduling it July 7th or something, or the 5th. I mean,
13th would be
No,
wonderful, but
right,
Yep.
I'm saying moving it up to accommodate Mary's schedule
Yep.
may not
No,
accomplish what we need to accomplish.
Don't move for me because
Well,
I'm not
yeah.
sure of my dates.
I'm fine with the calling in thing too. I don't have a problem with that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you were saying that we should schedule another one in May?
I can't say yes and I can't say no. I mean, if you want to schedule one and if we don't have anything to chat about, we can always let you know and then you could cancel it. I mean, whatever works for you. I mean, if you want to wait and if we need something, I can ask.
Yeah, is there something about May, again, June, is there something about May versus the first week in June?
Nope. No,
Yeah, that
nothing.
last week in May is gonna be tough for me, so,
I'm not
I would-
gonna be here the last week of May, beginning of June, just throwing it out there. I actually booked myself a cruise, so I'm not gonna
How
be.
Yeah,
about that?
you deserve it.
Yeah.
Yep,
So would you want me to book one for June 8th? Just. Or,
Is that a Wednesday?
Yep.
Is that a Wednesday?
yes, it
yeah,
is.
so Wednesday, June 8th.
Yeah, if you put it out there, it'll be on the calendar. We can always cancel.
Okay, so I will
well,
schedule,
and logistically, June, I mean, these meetings are stuff from you, so if you're not actually here, what's the mechanism for getting stuff approved or taken care of if you're not here?
well, when
I-
are you back? You back June 8th?
I'll be here.
I'll be here on June 8th.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
I'll be back on the 3rd, so, well, in the day of the 3rd.
Yeah, we'll be at your doorstep with requests.
Okay. I can always text you. I can Zoom from the boat.
Yeah,
That would
sure.
just be demoralizing for some of us.
You don't have to see it. I can block out the background, so. No, that would be nice. And if anything should come up, I'll let you guys know, because it would be nice if you could have the summer off.
Yeah. I plan on having the summer off.
There you go.
Okay, so one other thing that came around, well, we have two things left, the minutes. And there was the people speaking to articles.
Oh, yeah, so is the finance committee okay with just presenting all the budget motions?
Yep.
I think we're gonna have, I think the select board and article sponsors will be doing the first several. And then planning board, of course, will be doing all the zoning. I don't know, what is your preference?
What was Article 26, Margaret? I just put my thing away.
26 is general stabilization funding. Actually, that is
That was
noted as
Finance
FinCom.
Committee.
Yeah, that is noted as FinCom.
In
too.
Article 20, is that the budget?
Article 20 is the budget, and there's
Okay.
several different motions there.
Yeah. Yeah, those were the only two articles that I had for them.
Finance Committee okay with that?
Right, budget and then the stabilization fund.
Correct.
Stan's concentrating right now.
I'm fine with that. Yep.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Ask him for something else while he's.
I know, I was
Sure.
just thinking that. I couldn't think of
If you'd like
anything
any
fast
checks
enough.
or-
Stan
yeah,
is presenting all
card
the
number.
articles is what we just decided, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, and I think yes, and that's our normal gig.
Well, that was easy.
Oh, yeah.
Hit the easy button.
And would it be possible, Julie, to do up the minutes and get the approvals on Monday? So that way there I can post the reserve fund?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
If you want, I could do it.
No, you don't have to do it tonight, whatever's easier for you, but if you could just do
Okay.
that from Monday, that would be great.
Okay, that's no problem. What is it? So the last thing is the minutes from March 30th.
I move to approve them as amended tonight, or as emailed out to you and Stan tonight.
Julie seconds.
Any further discussion? They look good to me as well. So
No discussion on my part. You all are okay with it.
hearing none, roll call vote. Stan, aye.
Mary, I.
Julie, I. Okay, so I think we have gotten through everything.
I think so.
Woohoo.
All right,
Town
well,
meeting's gonna be one night only?
Yes, I think so. I
Okay.
think so.
fingers crossed.
This isn't a town meeting that has a couple of contentious citizen petitions or anything like that on it, so.
Yeah, the Jake breaks are gonna have a little conversation, I think.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
But that's not a talkative group, so the conversation may not go on that long.
That's true. Okay. They'll make their point and go sit down. Okay.
So well, I hope you guys then are gonna have a really great summer and hopefully I won't have to bother you until June 8th.
June, we like hearing from you. It's okay.
Well, maybe I'll just send out a quick, email every once in a while to make sure everybody's still doing okay.
That we don't miss you.
That's right. You don't forget
Too
who
much.
I
Right.
Yeah, like we already miss Margaret, right? Like we
Yeah,
already
I
miss
know.
Margaret.
I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Okay,
All right.
Yes, Stan is digging deep over there. He's engaged.
He
Yeah, it's
is,
not-
he really is.
not-
It's almost scary.
Yeah, it's
well,
not
we'll
a good
see you in
situation.
person on
Sorry.
Monday.
Yeah, we'll see
Yay!
everybody on Monday. Julie,
Yeah.
thanks for understanding on the minutes. I really appreciate that.
No, I don't care. I'd rather
Okay.
people just tell me how they want things. We need to actually call the meeting.
Yep.
I move that we adjourn.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Have a good night.